Hey guys, hello everyone. You are welcome back to Nutrition Care with Gloria. For the new members, you're very welcome. Kindly like, share, subscribe. For the old family, thank you for staying in here. Thank you for looking out. Thank you for the questions and the consultations. I really appreciate. Here we talk about everything nutrition so that we keep our nutrition status in check, for we know that it is the backbone of health. So today we are discussing gut health. It's one of the trending nutrition topics, by the way. A number of people are talking about gut health, how to keep your gut healthy, what gut health means, how it impacts our bodies. Well, some of the information is true and some of the information is not true. Some are actually myths and some is not based on very clear research. But here we are to get at least the basics. There's a lot to gut health that we may not be able to exhaust in this video, but I will ensure that we at least get the basics of gut health and what it is exactly and how to keep our gut healthy. First of all, what is the gut? Someone could be thinking that maybe it's an external body part that someone can point at, but simply the gut is the gastrointestinal tract, which it is like a tube. It includes your stomach, it includes your small intestines, it includes your colon, and this is where digestion takes place, and absorption of nutrients also happens here. When you're taking food, the nutrients are absorbed here, and then the rest is passed out as waste. So in simple terms, that's your gut, your stomach, your intestine, and your colon, mainly that. So we now know what the gut is and how it is very important in our bodies, because without this tract you cannot live. So what is gut health? What do they mean when they talk about gut health? Gut health is, to begin with, the gut has a number of microorganisms that live in here, bacteria, fungi. There are a number of microorganisms that live in here, not harmful. Most of them are actually healthy to enable digestion, breakdown of food, and absorption of nutrients. So the trillions of these microorganisms that live in the gut form something that we call the gut microbiome. So the gut microbiome is the combination or the collection of all these thousands and trillions of microorganisms that live on the inside of our gut to ensure that food is broken down, digestion is happening very well, nutrients are absorbed, and the rest of the matter is passed out as waste. So when they talk about gut health, they mean that inside your gut, with all these microorganisms that are there, are well balanced. When there is an imbalance in these microorganisms that live in your gut, that's when you start getting issues like indigestion, constipation, bloating, sometimes diarrhea, and very many other conditions. And when there is an imbalance in here, you do not only get all those things that can be easily resolved, you may get by the very bad health effects. You may get issues with your skin, you will get issues with your mood, you will get issues with your mental health, your immunity, because 70% of the immunity cells are actually in here in the gut. So gut health is very important, and when we talk about a healthy gut, that's what we mean, that your microbiome is well balanced, that the microorganisms in here are well balanced. I hope we are really together. So why does it matter to have a healthy gut? Because you could be outside there and you're wondering, well, I've never paid attention to having my gut healthy, but I'm living, I don't have any condition, but maybe you're battling acne, you're battling bloating, you're battling constipation, and a number of other things. And look, it is something very easy to deal with. It's not complicated at all. And the whole myth of the gut being something mysterious ceases right now that we are going to understand how it's actually, what exactly gut health is, what we can do to keep our gut healthy and happy, and how it connects to our mental health and our body in general. So first of all, gut health, by the way, let me start with the connection to the mental health. There is a very serious chemical connection between your gut and your brain via the gut-brain axis. And now the gut microbiome produces neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, and these are actually responsible for your mood. So when there is an imbalance in your gut and your microorganisms are not well balanced, before you know it, through all these chemical processes and the releasing of neurotransmitters from your gut to your brain, your mood will be stabilized. I'm sure there are days when you wake up and you're not feeling good, and it's not hormonal, or it may be like a sudden onset during day or in the evening, and it could be actually coming from your gut. There's also a hormonal connection between your gut and your brain. So I was saying there is actually a connection also between your gut and your hormones via the hypothalamic adrenal axis. The bacteria in the gut affect this stress response and this is transmitted via the hypothalamic adrenal axis. There is also a physical connection via the vagus nerve. Those are very chemical reactions that I will not get into in this video. And then also there is now one thing that I don't want to skip talking about. There is a physical connection, because like I said, 70% of our immune cells live in our gut, in the colon actually. So if your gut health is down, if your gut is not healthy, if the microorganisms in there are not balanced, it means that your immunity will be affected. Did you know? Now that you know, it means that actually some of the illnesses that you're battling are not caused by external viruses, external bacteria, or external microorganisms, but they could be originating from your gut. So if you're battling something chronic, something that is recurring, how about you first consider working on your gut? And then also another thing is that the gut has a connection to your skin. For ladies, even gentlemen, by the way, if your gut health is not in check, your skin will struggle. You'll get eczema, you'll get inflammation, you'll start getting patches, and this imbalance comes from the compromised immunity. When there's a compromised immunity, there is inflammation, there is imbalance, or there is an imbalance in the fluids that are being released in the body, and before you know it, you're having pimples, you're having acne, you're having all these skin conditions. So it is very important for you to keep your gut health in check if you are going to enjoy your skin also. So how do you get your health? How do you get your gut healthy? Simple things. How do you get your gut healthy? First of all, go hard on eating different plants, different types of plants. That is the number one solution, a number of plants, because the growth of different species of bacteria mean that for you to balance them, you also need a different species of other healthy bacteria, and this can be gotten from a variety of plants, fruits. When I say plants, I don't mean only peas, only leaves. When I say plants, I mean all fruits and vegetables, fiber-rich foods, grains, plant milks, nuts and seeds, and all these things. They are very, very good for your gut health. Another thing is aim for variety than consistency. Do not keep eating the same meal on lunch or supper because for you that's your signature meal. No, please ensure that there is a variety. Ensure that you are putting in, you're substituting. Ensure that you first of all your meals are balanced, but also ensure that you go for a variety instead of keeping consistent. And another thing is consumption of probiotics. Well, there are actually a number of videos and papers explaining the relationship between probiotics and gut health. So these probiotics are literally live microorganisms, like beneficial bacteria that you consume to improve your gut health. So these can be gotten from like fermented foods. For example, yogurt. Yogurt is a very, very good probiotic for your gut health. And then there's also something called prebiotics. Prebiotics are actually what feed the probiotics. These are found in plants and vegetables. So that you see why I was saying there should be a balance and a variety. So if you consume a variety of plants and look how that is a prebiotic, and then you're taking in, let's say, fermented foods like yogurt, that's a probiotic. The probiotic is feeding on the prebiotic and your gut health is really improving. These are very simple things that we actually consume almost when, well, it may not be a daily, but they're easily accessible. They are on market and they are affordable. So the sources of probiotics that we have fermented foods, the Mediterranean diet, which contains a lot of fiber and plus polyunsaturated fats like omega-3, very, very important. And then these probiotics are very good strains of bacteria that flourish and suppress the bad ones. Also, garlic is a very good probiotic. Bananas and apples, to mention but a few, there are a number. I'm just mentioning a few here. And also for the good of your gut health, for the general good of your gut health, there are foods that you may not be able to restrict but kindly be able to limit for the good of your gut health. For example, artificial sweeteners. If you can do away with those artificial sweeteners and sugars, that will be very good for your gut health. Overly processed or refined carbs, they are not healthy for your gut health. A lot of red meat is not healthy for your gut health. Ultra processed foods, and also something to do with your lifestyle. If you can lower your stress levels and also be able to get enough sleep, because sleep deprivation alters the gut microbiome. There's a lot that happens. Your body is recovering and repairing when you're sleeping. So when you don't get enough sleep, there is no time for repair, there is no time for recovery. Before you know it, there is an imbalance and you're getting all these unpleasant feelings. So take also enough water. Take enough water. It helps. It helps with balancing your gut microbiome, flushing out toxins, and for the healthy bacteria to survive. So gut health is very, very important. We've really known that it affects the mental health, it affects the physical health, it affects your hormones, and your immunity, plus your skin. So if you've been wondering what gut health is, this is simply it. Please, in the comment section, in case you have any questions, feel free to point them out and I'll be glad to answer them. And if there's anything that I've missed out that you'd like me to talk about, especially gut health, in this video, please mention it in the comment section and I'll be answering those questions or coming back to explain more on any of your concerns. So this is it for today. Keep your gut healthy, keep your gut happy, and your nutrition will be good too. This is it for today. See you in the next video. Bye.